As you know, I invite a few lay leaders to speak. Asked Gavin to come speak before. I knew he had doubled in height since I saw him last. It's very intimidating, but I'm doing my best. Gavin's now going to share a few words.
Hello, everyone. Shana Tova. I know. Hello, everyone. Shana Tova. I know that everyone knows about the recent struggles going on in Israel. And even though people aren't talking about it as much, it's still a very important problem. And as Jews, we need to understand and learn about our culture and our traditions that come from our country, Israel. This is connection that everyone shares, whether it's just personal or as just being a Jew, we all share a connection to Israel. This connection first started when God first promised the land to Abraham, as described in Genesis, where God said to Abraham, "Go forth from your native land and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and curse the one who curses you. And all the families of earth shall bless themselves by you." Abram went forth as God had commanded him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he left Haran. Abram took his wife Sarah and his brother's son Lot, and all the wealth they had amassed, and the persons that they had acquired in Haran. And then they set out to the land of Canaan. And when they arrived in Canaan, Abram passed through the land, as far as the site of Shechem and the Terrath of Moreh. The Canaanites were then in the land. God appeared to Abram and said, "I will assign this land to your offspring." And he built an altar there for God who had appeared to him. Not only do I have a biblical connection, like all of us, but I also have a personal connection. My personal connection, specifically, began way earlier in the early 1900s. My great-great-grandmother, Fanny, lived in the Pale Settlement, which, for those of you who don't know, was an area specifically in Eastern Europe where Jews were allowed to live during the time of the Russian Empire. And at the age of 12, she moved from the Pale Settlement to Brooklyn, New York. And a fun fact, not related to the story, she actually got her first job in the building where the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire happened. Thankfully, she was off for that day of work. This experience not only helped strengthen her as a person, but helped strengthen her idea of the importance of safety. This later translated to her commitment to Judaism and desire to help Jews have a homeland where they could be safe and worship freely. She eventually ended up playing a pivotal role in one of Israel's fights for independence. As the new state of Israel was being established in the late 1940s, non-Jewish people in the area and surrounding countries threatened the safety of the Jewish people. A young group of American Jews stepped in to support Israel. My great-great-grandmother, an ordinary person who, together with her siblings and friends, they formed a secret network to help equip the Israeli military with the supplies they needed, like guns and ammunition. And they shipped these goods to Israel by sea. Not only did she supply them, but she also used her own house as a storage to keep all these supplies. Even though this was highly illegal, my great-great-grandmother believed that helping Israel was more important and outweighed the threat of jail. She understood that the survival of the Jewish people was tied to the formation of the state of Israel. Not only do I have a connection from a long time ago, but I also have connections to recently, where my sister was fortunate enough to have the experience of seeing Israel and their culture last summer prior to the events of October 7th. And I hope that one day I'm able to do the same and see the beauty of the culture of Israel. And after reflecting on my personal stories and the teachings of the Torah, I realized what the true meaning of what God said to Abraham. The land of Israel doesn't just represent a place where Abraham and his offspring lived, but it represented a homeland for all the Jewish people, no matter where they live, a place where they can worship and be safe. And we as Jews are lucky to have a place like that where we can seek shelter. Although I understood this, that Israel was a safe place for Jews, I didn't really appreciate the importance prior to the events of last year. And with these events, it's important that we ensure that the state of Israel survives, because people need to know that our home is ours and there's nothing they can do to take it away from us. As my great-great-grandmother did in the 1940s, we must do everything in our power to protect our land and the safety of our community. Each of us can play a part. Whether it's learning or doing something, it's important to play your own role. And with this message, I hope you all have a great Yom Kippur and Gamar Tamatima Tov. May we all be sealed in the book of life. Thank you.
Gavin, thank you for taking the time to do the research and to share your story. Way to go. You have to stay on the lower steps. That's better. I'm just kidding. Thank you very much.